All right, ladies and gentlemen. Um, no video of me in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm having some issues with the OBS software. It did an update, and it's real goofy. It's either I take up the whole screen or almost none of the screen. So, real quick, we're going to do a tech talk. Wanted to get into some of that. So we got a couple things going on. We'll kind of start from the oldest to the newest. In a previous tech talk, I had mentioned the Intel Compute Stick. And that was probably one of my favorite devices that was previewed in January at CES. And if you didn't watch it, go watch it. But if you really didn't watch it, that little Intel Compute Stick is quite literally a little computer on a stick. And you plug it in up here at the top here. You've got the little HDMI in if you have an MHL port on your TV, and most newer TVs do. It's got a computer built inside with the Bay Trail processor, which is pretty impressive. I got a laptop with it. 2 gigs of RAM. We got a little power button over here. This is an OTG micro USB cable that you can use an OTG cable to expand it, give you a couple more USB ports, or to power the device if you're not using an MHL port. I think there's an SD card reader on the other side for expandable storage, but I think it does have 32 gigs or 64 gigs of storage depending on which version you get, and you get a full-sized USB 2.0 port, which, I mean, that's really all you need. So yeah, 64-bit Atom Bay Trail CPU, 2 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of flash storage. You've got Wi-Fi 802.11 BGN, which is fine, Bluetooth 4.0. Comes with a full version of Windows 8.1, which is fantastic. So, I mean, very simply, you can get an entire computer on your television just with one little self-sufficient stick, rather than having monitors and keyboards and all this other stuff. Now, obviously, it's limited in what it can do, but really, really impressive. Anyway, enough about that. You can obviously Google that, Intel Compute Stick. It is available for pre-order finally, and it'll be releasing here at the end of the month. If you are interested, the model that I just stated is their top-level model, and that's 149 smackers. But if you don't care too much about Windows, there's an $89 version which will run Ubuntu instead of 8.1, and that's got half the specs. It's got only a gig of RAM, 8 gigs of flash storage. So that's about it. But they plan to build some new ones, and that'll segue into the next thing. It was only a matter of time before. Whoa, what's going on there? It's only a matter of time before Google Chrome caught up with that. So Chrome, along with Asus, kind of their trusted manufacturer, is coming out with the Chromebit, and they've got a couple new Chromebooks that are Transformers now. But here's a look at the Chromebit. Now this stick here rotates 90 degrees. It has basically all the same stuff, micro USB port, comes in a couple colors, obviously, and then this little end cap here will reveal the not the USB, but the HDMI end, so that you can plug that into your TV and you're good to go. And that is not available for pre-order yet. They are claiming it's going to be less than $100, which makes sense because Chrome OS, they're inexpensive like that. $149 would be in the range of some of their new Chromebooks, like the Hisense Chromebook, which I heard was not actually horrendous. So that I'm excited for that too. Next, we've got a couple rumors that have been circulating about the Samsung Galaxy Note 5. Now, I just picked up a Note 4. You can't see it because obviously the camera is being a little goofy. But, big surprise. I don't think this is any rumor at all, but it's going to feature a UHD ultra high def display with a 4K resolution, which is 3840 by 2160. Close to the same screen as before. It'll have a dual edge and a single edge model. They're saying it's going to have 4 gigs of RAM, octa-core Snapdragon 810. It's pretty common stuff. I don't think this is anything out of the ordinary. It's very easy to predict, where we're going to go. Oh, yeah, 2014, everything had 2 gigs of RAM. 2015, everything's going to have 3 gigs of RAM. 2016, everything's got 4 gigs of RAM. And, battery sizes go up proportionately. Cameras, megapixels go up proportionately depending on the lens. Everything is slightly better. So I think a lot of companies are starting to get into that. But it's good to see some leaked some specs here. No images just yet. Next, we've got this is an interesting article. Google image search has a gender bias problems. And they go through and they, maybe they did a search here for nurses, and nurses are all girls. And they just search for doctors, and doctors are all boys, and maybe one girl here and there. And CEO are boys. And it's all white guys. It's not any other ethnicities really. So it's kind of interesting. And then female construction worker down here, you've got kind of the skanky Halloween sort of thing. So I mean, I can't really say it's a gender problem. I mean, maybe most nurses are girls, I think. Doctors, not so much. I think that's maybe pretty 50-50. CEOs, same thing. I mean, a lot of CEOs for big companies, especially ones that you might be Googling for, are white males. And female construction workers, we're guys. What do you think we have? What do you think we want when we Google female construction worker? So it's kind of, I don't know if it's a gender bias problem. It's just kind of filling in with what the stereotypes have. So I think it's probably relevant, but we're all about political correctness and other things like that here in this country. So that's kind of interesting to think about with Google image searches. It's never really looked at Google image search in that manner. Next, Apple released their iOS 8.3, and I did a couple updates on my spouse's Apple devices. She's an Apple user, and man, the list of bug fixes were long. They've really been rolling out things since iOS 8 came out. A lot of problems, and there still are a lot of problems. Touch ID, battery life again, we're having issues. You get stuck during installation. Keyboard problems for iPhone 6 users, pop-up key freezes. There's a lot more issues that this has presented. So it's kind of interesting. It's like, I know you want to fix bugs and other things like that, but maybe not roll out updates so terribly fast, and maybe we just consider testing our code that we repair rather than just rolling it out to the consumer. And the joke is 99 little bugs in the code, 99 little bugs. Fix one bug, patch it around, 128 bugs in the code. So just because you fix one doesn't mean that fixes everything that might open the gate for others. So I don't mind the iOS operating system. It's definitely that closed sphere, but it's a beautiful operating system. It does work pretty well. It's kind of weird not being able to see myself. I'm expecting myself down here in the little corner. But yeah, camera was acting up. So next, we're on to the Apple Watch. Pre-orders for the Apple Watch and the MacBook are up, and pre-orders have slumped quite a bit. Most Apple products, iPhones, iPads, maybe you get those wait lines out there for those users that are really diehard and they're trying to get that stuff, but it's really not been the case here. I've read a lot of articles over the past couple of days about these are very thin herds of people that are interested in this, and I think Apple is not going to do too well with this smartwatch. I've kind of considered that ever since. But if you are going to get a smartwatch, let me know. Maybe comment in the section below. I want to see who out there is really interested in this and thinking about investing. Maybe not in the $15,000 gold version, but maybe one of these three that are pictured here. So let me know. Next, we're talking about movies. I don't talk about movies too much. Movies I've been very, very picky on my movies, but Ex Machina, or Machina, or Machina, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Really, really interesting movie. Seems to be very, very well portrayed. Very sci-fi-ish. It's about AI life and kind of a study that does that. And then it gets into a couple psychological studies about, I think his name's Alan Turing. and he kind of came up with the Alan Turing test to prove artificial intelligence in machines. It talks about consciousness and other things like that. Really interesting movie. I'll have to go see it and let everybody know. But pretty interesting concept and how it plays into AI and how we're getting into AI in our homes one day. So I think the technology is definitely coming one day, but maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. Also, let me know in the comments. Is AI good, or is it maybe a danger to our race? Let me know. Next, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, shame on you. You must live under a rock. Absolutely fantastic show. And if you can watch it, do watch it. If you don't pay for HBO and you don't pay for cable, like I don't have cable, a couple ways you can get it, and you can get it for free on anything without cable. So Sunday, it's coming. We've got a couple days here, 2 days, the 12th. Game of Thrones will be back for its 5th season. And if you HBO does have their HBO Now service, which you can get for $15 a month. All your wonderful HBO shows. There's a lot of them out there. Quite a few of my favorite shows are HBO based. But if you're still interested in watching it, you can get on Apple devices. You can get it free for the first 90 days, that'll set you up for a little while. I don't know if that's long enough for a season. I think maybe almost long enough for a season because there's only 10 episodes, unfortunately. And here's some instructions on Gizmodo as to how to get your free trial and start watching it as it happens, so you don't get caught behind and maybe you're torrenting it or borrowing it from a dark corner of the internet or something like that. So here's some instructions here on to get it. I'm not going to go over that real quick. Sling TV. While we're here, I'm going to talk about Sling TV. I got Sling TV down here. I'm still on a 14-day free trial or something like that. I've been pretty impressed with it. Buffering's good. Doesn't require too much stuff. I haven't watched TV in seriously a long time. Maybe over a year or two. And there just hasn't been too much stuff out. And if I'm interested in a show, I'll go out and I'll watch it online or something like that. But I don't like paying for cable. I don't like having channels that I never watch. Sling TV is kind of the same thing. It is $20 a month, and you can add additional packages like sports packages and other things like that, and some other premium channels. HBO is also one of those premium channels. So that's close to $35 because if you get the HBO channel, it's an additional $15. And for the baseline channels, which include ESPN, ESPN2, CBS, I think, ABC Family, Disney, Cartoon Network, Home, HDTV, a couple food channels. There's like 13 or 14 channels out there, and it is expanding for the basic, $20 a month. And then also online, if you do start an actual subscription and not just a 14-day trial, they'll also give you a Amazon Fire Stick, or Fire Stick, or Fire TV or Roku Stick for almost free. You can either get $50 off the non-stick version, just a set-top box version of the Roku or the Amazon Fire TV. But if you want the stick version, I think they're just about free. They give you like a $50 credit if you start that, and I think that's been pretty darn good. You get a decent amount of sports and other things like that, and I think that's really the Sling TV is really the beginning of the cable cutters, and I think cable and home phone and other technology like that, and newspapers are just entirely too archaic, and Sling TV is a good way to go for if you're technical. You don't need to be too technical. There are some drawbacks to it, buffering and bandwidth and other things like that. And I think only one person can be watching on the account at one time, unlike Netflix, where you can have between like 3 and 10 people on the same account doing different things at the same time. Sling TV, that is not possible. It's one person logged in at a time. And maybe they'll fix it. I mean, Sling TV is not a very old service. So that's about it for the news, guys. I've got not too much else. I haven't been publishing too many videos lately, and I apologize for that. I wanted to get the camera working because I've kind of gotten into another new hobby. Besides Bitcoin, Bitcoin's kind of going steadily for me, and I've learned all that I think I can for now in terms of Bitcoin, so I'm going to do a video on that recently. But back to that new hobby, I kind of got into road cycling. And I picked up a bike and a couple accessories, and I just put them on the bike tonight. And I'm going to try to, get out of the office here every now and again and go outside and try to improve my fitness a little bit. So you might see a lack of videos here for a day or two, especially in the summer months when the weather is warm here in Ohio. But still going to be publishing a lot of content as products and other things come in. We're going to be reviewing things. I got a lot queued up reviewing for the bike. Got GoPros that are coming in the mail that we're going to be reviewing. Got a whole bunch of bike stuff, different bike computers and telemetry things, and very simple bicycle accessories that we're going to be taking a look into. So trying to broaden the YouTube channel past just tech videos and other things like that. So stay tuned, guys. We got a lot coming up. Maybe some cycling stuff a little later on. We've got GoPro reviews, Bitcoin. There's a whole bunch of stuff queued up. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you're subscribed, and we'll see you in the next one.